today we found out that Sean Connery died. And so, as part of our behind the scenes, we have the rest of this list for the horror novels. It's Halloween. This is not a Halloween shirt, it's my Clemson Tiger shirt. But we have the rest of the list about the horror novels. How do you write a scary story? And the last thing I was saying as we were getting off the air was that the children's point of view, the child's perspective. Children are easily scared. They're irrational. And so as you're thinking about your story and as you're creating the circumstances for scare in your story, consider looking at it from a child's point of view. What would frighten a child about the details that you're given, and how would they exaggerate what was happening around them to make, to really blow those fears up a little bit. In the meantime, you've just mentioned yet another Sean Connery film that I have not watched. I feel like I've seen a lot of Sean Connery films, but probably haven't. And he passed today, so.
You saw the ones that he did in the 90s.
I saw the commercially viable ones.
He came back in the at the end of the 80s with the Untouchables.
Right. Yeah.
And then he did a whole bunch of films weren't that good. He did a whole bunch in the 70s that were way better.
As a young man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, The Offense, The Hill, Robin and Marion, The Man Who Would Be King. That one he did with Hitchcock, which was, I can't remember. I want to say Rebecca, but I don't think it's Rebecca.
I don't think it's Rebecca either. Because I've seen Rebecca.
Zardos. Sorry.
So Sean Connery is I think of him as James Bond.
Everyone does.
As a young person. Would you consider those action films, those suspense films, when you know the outcome, you know that this character is going to survive, what are the stakes in a story like that?
It's not about stakes, it's about the spectacle. That's why they kept getting bigger and bigger with bigger gadgets and more wild stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you get from the first one, him actually doing detective work, to 20 years later, Pierce Brosnan driving a tank around Prague shooting Sean Bean. I mean, that's why the villains get more and more wild and cackling.
Okay, I'll give you that. And I here's what I think, like, as far as, because we talked about scary stories today. I think with scary stories, there's a danger of the stakes always being death. And so I would encourage people who are writing scary stories to consider what else the stakes could possibly be. So there could be maiming, there could be disfigurement, there could be, losing some important part of your voice or your ability to see or something like that, right? Like there's a lot of other physical danger things that are not necessarily death.
In the old days, with Poe and then with Lovecraft, we have this whole thing of horror. Never mentioned Lovecraft. The characters went insane.
He's in the show notes.
Okay.
Oh, so madness. Yes, going insane. Oh, the yellow wallpaper. These kinds of stories, right? Where the idea that the person has slowly, completely lost touch with their mental faculties. We didn't talk either about the scenes or where these kinds of things are set. The difference between the spooky woods versus the mental asylum, right? Like, there's a lot of opportunity to sort of unpack some of those things as well. Mostly, we just sort of chatted and ran our mouths, but hopefully this was.